If there's been betrayal, I encourage you to stay on this video. At the moment, you could be feeling extremely emotional, feeling emotions like you've never felt before. There could be rage, resentment, sadness, grief, loss. You might not be able to stop crying. You might just want to throw and kick, and just this energy inside of you that you perhaps have never felt before. All of this is very, very normal. That would be the first thing I would say. And I encourage you actually to feel it all. Ideally not to spray it out on anybody else, but to actually really capture the intensity, and not use vices as a way to dilute that pain. You know, vices being alcohol, drugs, and all the other ways that we can use vices to avoid what we're truly feeling. So what you're feeling is real, it's raw, and it's real. And the key is to not to minimize it, dilute it down, or put it in a box. And if you're someone who doesn't normally feel a lot of emotion, and you're in this space, it could be quite scary. So it is very, very normal to have these really strong emotions. My number one would be, do not try to fix it straight away. And what I mean by that is often, right, the relationship is finished. I don't want this. I would ask you to just slow it right down, because your emotions are an absolute whirlwind at the moment. And you are going to want to try and fix it and find answers. That's how the brain works. But your whole body has to process this, feel this, be with this. And so you're not going to be able to fix this straight away. It isn't something that can be fixed. This is a process that you're in. You're right in the middle of it. And it's something that is extremely uncomfortable. Being okay to be with this discomfort can be... Look, it's easy for me sitting here saying this to you, but I encourage you to just allow yourself to be with all of this. Ultimately, what you need is truth. For you to be able to land and feel safe, you need truth. And it's not promises. It's not, I'm going to do this from the offending person. You actually need truth. You know, I see it in my room when the offending person is fully honest. They know that they've got nothing to lose. They also may be very much owning their part, because that's very helpful if you're on the receiving end of this. But it's through working through this, and when the offending person is fully transparent, fully honest, but that person can only do that if they actually allow themselves to drop into the body and feel it all. It cannot come from the head space. For the person on the receiving end, so if you are receiving this betrayal, you need truth. And this may take time, and it may take space. And this is where I encourage you, if you are in this space, is to get support. I see too many people who, as time goes on, they perhaps put it under the rug and then they rejoin back in the relationship. But then let's fast forward a year, 2 years, 5 years, a similar behaviour occurs. What happened initially has never been healed, so that comes up as well. So it's really, really important, if you are on the receiving end of betrayal and wondering where to start, seek support. So seek it with me or seek it with somebody else, to have just a safe space to begin unpacking this. Betrayal is complicated, And there's so many moving parts. And so it's creating the space and the time and ultimately awareness, because each of you have to get to a space where you have some self-awareness and self-compassion. What you are, betrayal, the betraying person, you're going to be feeling so much. It's so intense and you want this pain to go. This isn't something that's going to be healed overnight. So bringing in some self-awareness, getting a journal, writing some of that down, speaking into a recording, speaking some of it out, speaking to someone that you know that will just listen, won't judge, won't tell you what to do, because all of this is an energy in your body and you've got to start moving it and being with it and processing it. And by doing perhaps some of your old patterns, which could be put it in a box and put it away, or turn to your vices, or just hope that it gets better, it's not going to. Betrayal is quite complicated, and there are many moving parts. And so being able to slowly work through this, this wound that is activated in you is raw, it's open. But it won't be necessarily just what's happening now. If you haven't done any of your own inner work from way back, from 10 years, 20 years from when you're a child, some of that could be being activated as well. So there's so much in this. So it's about going very, very gently. So don't rush to fix. Really encourage you to slow it down, to be with all that's here, this uncomfortableness. And as I say on many videos, us humans don't like to be with this pain. I know firsthand, I'll put my hand up. However, some really amazing healing and what am I trying to say? Incredible things have happened. I've seen it firsthand with couples, so you do not know. I talk about in relationships we have a death and a birth, and in a healthy relationship to have this quite common, to have this happening quite often. I need some lunch. I feel like I'm doubling up on some of my words, but I really wanted to get this video out. So death and a birth, and so it's this healing and it's a constant rebirth, and that's what keeps a relationship alive. So sit with your own pain first and really begin to being able to emotionally regulate and bring in that self-awareness, so that compassion for self and that mindfulness, being able to be in the present moment and get yourself out into nature and just be with whatever is here. Being able to feel it is the biggest gift. And so a lot of self-care at the moment would be very, very helpful before you even begin looking at fixing it and what does that look like moving forward. Do not do any action step on an emotion. We just have to slow it right down. So I really hope this has been helpful. Go very, very gently. If there's been betrayal and where to start, a lot of self-compassion, kindness and love for yourself. Start there, and I'll see you next week.